throughout last offseason, I made my 2025 through 2026 NFL season predictions. That included records, award winners, and also some other things. But let's get right into it. So, starting with the AFC East. Okay, so this division ended up with the Patriots winning it at 14-3, the Bills at 12-5, the Dolphins at 7-10, and the Jets at 3-14. So, I predicted this division to be the Bills at 14-3, the Patriots at 10-7, missing the playoffs, the Jets at 3-14, and the Dolphins at 7-10, both missing the playoffs. I wasn't too far off on this division. I predicted the Patriots Drake May to be good in his second year. I didn't expect them to be playoff good, but I expected them to be a fringe playoff team, which obviously they made the Super Bowl, so I was a little far off. I was about right on the Bills. I said 14-3. They were actually 12-5. I predicted them to win the division. They did not. But all in all, I did predict the Dolphins going 7-10, and they did go 7-10, so I got that. And then the Jets, they went 3-14, and I predicted them to go 3-14. I mean, it's the Jets. Who didn't predict them to be bad? But yeah, AFC East starting off pretty good. Hopefully, I can continue that throughout the rest of the divisions. Okay, next we have the Cleveland Browns, the AFC North. And this division ended up being the, Steelers at 10-7, the Ravens missing the playoffs at 8-9, the Bengals at 6-11, and the Browns at 5-12. So a pretty bad division, but I predicted them to be the Ravens at 15-2, the Bengals at 14-3, the Steelers at 5-12, and the Browns at 1-16. So let me here's where a couple things went wrong. A, Lamar got hurt. Do I think the Ravens would have been 15-2 if Lamar wouldn't have gotten hurt? No. But hey, I'm not a Ravens fan and I predicted that, so can we imagine what Ravens fans were thinking heading into the season? And then with the Bengals, no matter what, ever since they made the Super Bowl in 2021, I have been a Joe Burrow fan. Not a fan, but I've been a believer. And every year, he continues to disappoint me. I'm like, oh, look at what they were doing in 2021. The Bengals are going to win that division or be close to it. And every single year, they just miss the playoffs. And so next year, I think in my predictions, I'm just going to stop believing in the Bengals because, honestly, I don't think it's going to go well. I said, oh, their division is terrible, and guess what? Joe Burrow's back healthy. And it's like I say that same thing every year. And so, 14-3 and being 6-11, that's almost as bad as me predicting the Ravens 15-2 and them going 8-9. Now, this division is by far where I missed it the most because I also predicted the Steelers to go 5-12, and they won the division at 10-7. So I predicted, you got old Aaron Rodgers. He just put up a stinker with the Jets a couple years ago. Well, not a couple years ago, last year at that point. And I expected the same exact thing. I figured they only had DK Metcalf on offense. They didn't have that many weapons. Their defense was okay. Obviously has some age to it. But sure enough, Mike Tomlin and his winning record just can't bet against it. But now they got Mike McCarthy, so I may go back to 5-12 for next year. I got that in the back of my head, ready to pull it out at any moment. And then the Browns, I predicted them 1-16. They weren't too far off it at 5-12, but pretty bad for the AFC North. Okay, next moving on to the AFC South. This division had the Jaguars coming in first at 13-4, the Texans coming in second at 12-5, the Indianapolis Colts being 8-9, the Tennessee Titans being 3-14. Okay, so this division has a lot of I didn't even want to say what I had for this division, but let's just start. I had the Titans coming in first at 9-8, the Texans coming in second at 6-11, and you might be saying to yourself, okay, a second place person at 6-11, holy cow, what happened to the Jags and the Colts? I had them both going 2-15. Let me just see if I can figure out why my off-season self had them going 2-15 for a second. So I know I thought Cam Ward was going to be good, and the Titans weren't going to absolutely kill him behind that offensive line. But the Colts, I mean, I said, you know what, Daniel Jones, he's going to be like the Giants, and then Trevor Lawrence has never really shown anything aside from that 9-8 season they had where they made a divisional round appearance. And so, I mean, there's really no words here. At least I did have the Titans getting out in the first round of the playoffs. So, take that as you want. But I expected the Texans to regress. But they kind of did in that playoff game. But I just needed it a little sooner. At the beginning of the season, when they were 0-3 and 3-5, I was like, holy cow, I predicted that so good. And I was ready to put out a video saying, not going to say I told you so, but I told you so. But then they cleaned it up, and they won 8 games straight. And then Jacksonville, they also won like 8 games straight. But luckily, the Colts, when they were 8-2, I literally thought about making a video like, hey, I kind of screwed up a bit on those predictions. And then they started losing, and it made me feel better. So that Colts one isn't too bad. But I messed up on this division. Almost, well, I'd say it is as bad as the AFC North. So we're not going too good. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 right in every conference. And it's just a matter of, can I predict it? And I couldn't predict it. This division by far had the most uncertainty heading into this season because the Colts, they had Daniel Jones at quarterback. We didn't know what he was going to do. Cam Ward was a rookie. C.J. Stroud started to regress at the end of the 2024 season. And then Trevor Lawrence is just Trevor Lawrence. We don't know what we're going to get out of him. So yeah, not too good for the AFC South. Okay, let's see if we can revive ourselves with the AFC West. This division ended up being the Broncos at 14-3, the Chargers at 11-6, the Chiefs at 6-11, and the Raiders at 3-14. Now, I had the Broncos winning this division at 13-4. I had the Chargers coming in second at 13-4. I had the Chiefs coming in third at 11-6. And then the Raiders, I had them going 3-14, which they did. Perfect. I know, I'm that amazing. So I had 3 of these teams in the playoffs, right? That's not too far off. I did expect a regression from the Chiefs after what I saw in the Super Bowl, but I did not expect 6-11. And they were 6-6, and then Mahomes got hurt a couple weeks after that. And I think, would they have won their final 3 games and possibly made the playoffs? I don't know. I guess we'll never know. But on the others, I hit them pretty good. Like, I was only 1 game off of the Broncos. I got the Raiders right. And then I was only 2 games off of the Chargers. So, all in all, pretty good in the AFC West. I mean, I didn't have the Raiders being the number 1 pick. But I did. Here's something in my predictions. There is a big drop-off, and you'll notice that. I either have you doing really good or really bad. Like, that's why I have multiple 14-3 teams, multiple 13-4 teams. Like, the 2 number 1 seeds were 15-2 and 16-1. And then the 2 bottom teams were 1-16 and 1-16. So, I mean, it's really hard to... That's why I hope they don't go to an 18-game schedule, because that just makes prediction so much harder, because there's so many more variables. But yeah, it's okay for the AFC West, but definitely not my best. Okay, the AFC is done. So, from what I had, just to recap what I had from the AFC, I had the 1-seed Ravens, 2-seed Bills, 3-seed Broncos, 4-seed Titans, 5-seed Bengals, 6-seed Chargers, 7-seed Chiefs. Okay? Then I had Titans versus Bengals. Bengals win, face the Ravens. 2-seed Bills versus 7-seed Chiefs. Bills win, go on to face the winner of Broncos at Chargers. Chargers at Broncos. Broncos win to face the Bills. Then in the divisional round, Ravens beat the Bengals to go on to the AFC Championship. Broncos beat the Bills, which I did get right. In the divisional round. It was a Broncos-Ravens AFC Championship where the Ravens would come out as the AFC champion. Like I said, not if Lamar doesn't get hurt, they're probably in a much better spot going into that final game against the Steelers, and they probably make the playoffs and are part of the playoffs in some way. Considering that he missed, 5 games, and they're still 1 game out of a playoff spot. Pretty good. But yeah, now on to the NFC. Okay, moving on to the NFC East. This division was, not my best, but it could have been worse. So, this division was the Eagles at 11-6 winning the division, the Cowboys in second at 7-9-1, the Commanders in third at 5-12, and the Giants in fourth at 4-13. So, this division, just quick disclaimer, I am a Cowboys fan, so there may be some bias in this prediction that you're about to hear that I made over the offseason. And yes, I had the Cowboys going 13-4 and winning the division. Do I have any regrets about that? No. I think that if this was pre-Micah Parsons trade, I think with Micah Parsons, the Cowboys easily go 13-4. I think they maybe even go 15-2. I think that the Eagles, I got 11-6. I nailed that right on the head. And then I did expect a regression from the 2024-2025 Commanders. And I said they were going 10-7, not 5-12. And then the Giants, I just said, you know what, who cares? I had them going 1-16. But, that wasn't too far off, considering that was only 3 games off. So all in all, not too bad. The Cowboys, when we get to the end and when we're recapping the NFC playoff picture that I had predicted, you'll see where this starts to go downhill. If you thought the NFC East was a bad prediction, boy, do I have a prediction for you. So, the NFC North. We have the Bears, who won it at 11-6. The Packers at 7-9-1. The Lions at 9-8. And the Vikings at 9-8. So, what went wrong here? Because I had the Bears, let's just start with who I had winning. I had the Lions getting the 1 seed at 16-1. I had the Packers getting the 5 seed at 9-7-1. Not 9-7-1, 14-3. Holy cow. Then I had the Vikings at 6-11. And the Bears, the division-winning Bears, at 4-13. Okay. So, who expected the Bears to go out and not only make the playoffs, but win their division? I mean, people looked at this as the Bears finished last in their division last year. They looked at this like such a tough division. And if the Bears were going to win, they needed a miracle. And I don't want to say they got that miracle, but they were pretty close to it, considering whatever the heck happened with the Lions. And then the Vikings, 9, I mean, he's the worst. And Max Brosmer. And then the Packers, they were just there the entire season. Just gifting it to the Bears. Not gifting it to the Bears, but they were pretty close to doing it. And yeah, that was not exactly my best prediction. But hey, I predicted the Vikings were going to be not good without Sam Darnold. You can give me that. And then I predicted the Packers to be a middle-of-the-pack NFC team. And then the Lions and Bears just flip those and then give the Lions a couple more wins and we're good. Not that far off, but so far, just to recap, the only ones I've gotten right were the Dolphins, Jets, Raiders, Eagles, and none others yet. But hopefully, we get some more right. And then we have awards to do, and then we have the playoff bracket. Oh, great. Okay, moving on. Okay, the NFC South. This division ended up being the Panthers, Bucks, and Falcons all tied at 8-9. The Panthers winning the division. Then, the Saints at 6-11. So all pretty tight together. You're probably wondering, oh, they're all so tight together. I'm sure with how tight it was, you probably got some of them right. No, you'd be wrong. I had the Bucks going 12-5. I had the Falcons then in second place going 8-9. I got that right. Yes, good, perfect. Then I had the Panthers only 1 game off going 7-10 when they actually went 8-9. But I had them finishing third instead of first. And then I said, you know what? Saints, they got uncertainty at quarterback. Let's just put them in at 2-15. That's a trend you'll find. If you have uncertainty at quarterback, I say put you down the barrel at 2-15 and low records. Which, that came back to bite me. I will admit it. But it was looking like they were going to be 2-15, and then Tyler Shuck came in and played like the next Tom Brady and won him like 5 straight games in a row to put him at 6-11. But, I mean, who didn't have the Bucs winning this division? For the last 4 years, it was just a shoo-in. Like, hey, NFC South, Bucs. That's literally who 95% of people probably had picking. And the Panthers honestly just came out of nowhere. And they were sticking with the Bucs all throughout the season. And then at the end, they just stole it from the Bucs. But yeah, not much to say about the NFC South. And hopefully, I can do better next year with this division. Okay, now we have the current day NFL Super Division. The NFC West with the Super Bowl champion, the NFC runner-up, and another NFC playoff team. And then you have the Cardinals, a.k.a. the NFC West. This division ended up having not only the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks at 14-3 and the number 1 seed, the Rams at 12-5, the 49ers at 12-5, and then the Cardinals were down there at 3-14. So I had the Rams winning this division at 13-4. The 49ers coming in second at 12-5. I got that. Perfect. Then I had the Seahawks, the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, at 10-7, missing the playoffs. And then I had the Cardinals at 5-12. So, not that off. I mean, I suspected them to have 3 people with a winning record. You can give me that. And I did not have them being the Super Bowl champion. But hey, we'll try again next year. I mean, honestly, I hit it pretty good, if you ask me. I had 3 of them having a winning record, and then 1 garbage team. I didn't exactly predict who. I got the division order a bit flipped. All you really need to do is just move the Seahawks up to the top and slide everyone down 1. And then we got Seahawks, Rams, 49ers, and then, or was it Seahawks, 49ers, Rams? I think so. We'll actually just move the Rams to 3rd. Just do this. Move the Rams to 3rd, and then move the Seahawks up front. And then we're good. We're good. But yeah, all in all, not my best prediction. We'll try again next year. Okay, now the NFC playoff picture. So, we have the 2 seed versus the 7 seed, the Rams versus the Eagles. I had the Rams winning. Then you had the 3 seed Cowboys versus the 6 seed 49ers. I had the Cowboys winning. The 4 seed Buccaneers versus the 5 seed Packers. I had the Packers winning. Then, so pretty good that first round. Then, in the divisional round, I had the 1 seed Lions facing off against the 5 seed Packers. I had the Lions winning. Then, I had the 3 seed, the 2 seed Rams versus the, 3 seed? Yeah, 3 seed Cowboys. I had the Cowboys winning. Then in the AFC Championship, Cowboys versus Lions, I had the Cowboys. And then if you remember back to our AFC, it was Cowboys, Ravens in the Super Bowl. I had my Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. I will probably get a lot of heat in the comments about that, but hey, it's okay. Let's quickly move past that bad prediction, and let's move right ahead to the awards. So MVP. There's actually a video on this. Most of these I just did my whole little play music in the background and show the records. But this one I actually talked in it. And sort of a long form video. I'll get into that later. But basically you can see my explanation if you go to that video. I will probably link it in the description. I don't know. At my MVP, I had Joe Burrow. Like I said earlier, I believed in the Bengals. And I said, you know what? If Joe Burrow would have had a better defense last year, he would have won MVP. And this year, I said, you know what? T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are paid. Everything is just fine. And he will win MVP. That was wrong. Offensive Player of the Year. I had Derrick Henry. And I said, you know what? If Saquon wasn't there last year, he would have won it. So he'll win it this year because Saquon's going to regress. I was right about Saquon regressing, but I was not right about Derrick Henry kind of also regressing too. Then at Defensive Player of the Year, I had Micah Parsons. And you're probably wondering, oh, did you expect him to be good on the Packers as a Cowboys fan? No. This was before the Micah Parsons trade. And I said, you know what? Micah Parsons, he's led this Cowboys defense to him having 10-plus sacks every year, and he's so good. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, he did tear his ACL, but didn't expect him to be traded, and that basically debunks that position. Then, Defensive Rookie of the Year, I had Abdul Carter / Travis Hunter. I said, just give me two of them. Why not? Just have two winners. And I said, if Travis Hunter plays the majority of defense, they'll give it to him. If not, Abdul Carter. Not much explanation. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I mean, who didn't have this guy? Cam Ward. Who would have expected the Titans to literally not do anything for that man? And hopefully, he has a better second year and wins that AFC South, because please don't let it be the Texans. But yeah, then Comeback Player of the Year, Dak. That wasn't a bad pick. He was coming back from that injury. Almost led the NFL in passing yards. And then Protector of the Year, I said, give me one of my Cowboys. Give me Tyler Smith. So yeah, not a pretty good year of predictions. I think I got what? I got the 6 right, records-wise. I got 1 playoff game and matchup right. Didn't get the Super Bowl champion right. Didn't get any of the awards right. But yeah, that's all I got. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.